Okay, we're real pleased to have a quality win against a good Kentucky team. Just the helmet stickers that we gave out tonight offensively. Seth Williams got our helmet sticker. He had two touchdown catches that were both really good catches. He played very well without the ball, and he played with a lot of physicality, which we've been really, asking him to do. Defensively, our helmet sticker went to Roger McCreary. Obviously, the 100-yard return for a touchdown that got called back right there before half, and then in the fourth quarter, he had a cause fumble, and we recovered. It was a big play in the game. Special teams helmet sticker was Jordan Peters. He made the tackle on the fake punt, which is very critical in the game, and he played very well in all phases, special teams, and made a tackle on punt too. And really, after watching the game, there's a lot of areas to improve on. But the one thing that stood out to me is our guys played extremely hard. They played for 60 minutes, and that was really the difference in the game that helped us win. Questions?
Questions from Jason Caldwell.
Gus, you talked about depth, how important the depth was going to be this year, and you're without a couple of defensive linemen. DeAndre Butler didn't play. Jay Hardy didn't dress. You're down a bunch of guys. Let's talk about having to dig deep on the defensive line and what you saw out of those guys.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And then, of course, Big Cat just played a couple plays in the second half, and not having Jay, which Jay had a good fall camp and got injured last week. And so Dre Butler, is nursing an injury. We're hoping we get those guys back here pretty quick. But the good thing is that a lot of guys got a chance to play, and it was good to see, the guys out there. And we're always talking about developing depth, and we got a chance to do that Saturday.
Next is Tom Green.
Hey, Gus, I wanted to ask you about that 2-point conversion. I think that's the first time that you've run that since the opener against Washington State in 2013. Just what went into the decision to go with that there?
Well, first of all, really, it was, we did do it in 2013. It was a different version, but we actually ran that play after the first touchdown of the year against Washington, and we just didn't execute it. It was there, we just didn't execute it, and it's a tough play to defend if someone hadn't worked on it, and our guys really executed it well, and we'll be able to expand those type of things now in the future.
Next is Jordan Hill.
Gus Owen played really well yesterday. Just how much growth have you seen from him since he first got here?
Yeah, he really does the same thing on defense as Bo has done on offense. He's just more comfortable. He understands what's going on, and he's a very good player, and he's a very good special teams player too. So he's just really raising his level.
Next is Justin Ferguson.
I guess I noticed yesterday during the game that Bo spread the ball pretty much to all levels of the field, all different sides of the field. Was that kind of the plan going in, and how pleased were you with the way he moved it around yesterday?
Yeah, I was real pleased, and he made a couple really tough throws on his back foot, and I thought he protected the football. Then that was the main thing, and I think you're exactly right. We had some short ones, some deep ones, and some medium ones, and he spread the field and got it to a lot of different guys, which is always helpful.
Next, Josh Vitale.
Guys, I know you guys rotated a lot in the offensive line. I guess Kentucky is there a group, after looking back on the film, that stands out that you want to go forward with, or are you still kind of in the decision-making progress?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we got some good information, with all 7 guys that we played. That'll help us kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle. But here's the positive, is all those guys got a chance to play during prime time against a good defensive front and a good defensive front 7. So, like I said, gave us a lot of information, and, we're still working on putting the pieces to the puzzle together.
Next is Steve Moulton. All right, we'll move ahead to David Pascal.
Hey, Gus, you've got the unique challenge this week of facing a team that started one quarterback yesterday, put in another, and then has a quarterback who still hadn't been cleared medically. how is that challenge going to be with the potential of 3 different quarterbacks you may see this week?
Yeah, I mean, each quarterback's probably a little bit different, but they played one game with a new offense coordinator, so we'll see. But it's kind of like playing a first game like yesterday. We're just going to have to adjust and be ready to make changes if needed as the game goes on.
And follow on Jay Hardy, will he be possibly back this week, or will it be a few weeks before he comes back?
We're hopeful for everybody at this point. Now we'll see, but we're hopeful that we'll have everybody back. Shedrick Jackson didn't play, Marco Damio didn't play, so there was a lot of guys that didn't get a chance to play that we're hopeful this week.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Steve Moulton.
Yes, Coach. I was hoping you could speak to communication on the field, both offensively and defensively. Were you pleased with things communicated the right way out on the field?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be room for improvement after every first game, but I thought for the most part it was pretty smooth, and we'll have a chance to improve, each game in that area too.
In terms of submitting calls to Birmingham, and especially the targeting call, was it a little bit more than usual, or you tell me, Coach?
You talking about that specific play, or are you talking about overall?
Calls submitting to Birmingham, but yes, I am wanting to get a comment on the targeting call.
Yeah, I mean it was a boom deal, so that's what they called. As far as sending in plays, I think most coaches probably do each week if they've got some things they want to get some clarification on a specific rule.
Next is Brian Matthews.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking my call. You mentioned Shedrick Jackson. Is he a little banged up? And also wanted to ask you about Brandon Frazier and how he's doing.
Yeah, Shedrick we're hoping is back this week. Brandon Frazier is coming on and improving. We feel the same way we did before. I mean, he's going to have a chance to be a really good player, we feel like.
Was he banged up?
Mike Griffith
out there Saturday?
Yes, he was.
Next is Mike Griffith.
Coach, I want to ask you about Pat Dye, just the legacy that Coach Dye left at Auburn. What does that legacy mean to you? And when you think about Coach Dye, what comes to mind first?
Yeah, wow. That's a question that, a lot of thought goes into. You're talking about a guy that helped our program get to where it's at, a guy that, I got to know really good when I was the coordinator here. And then, of course, being the head coach, he'd come just about every practice and got to know our players extremely well, and gave me wisdom, from time to time that was very helpful. So we just want to honor his legacy this whole season by playing good, hard-nosed Auburn football and play for 60 minutes. And I really felt like he would have been proud yesterday. We didn't play our best in some areas, but our guys, they played their guts out, and they played for each other. They played for Auburn and played physical. So we're honoring him this season, and I know our players are very excited to do that.
Next is Gianna Hahn.
Hi, Gus. So you had a number of true freshmen play yesterday. Could you just evaluate how you think they did in their first college game?
Well, the first college game is always a unique experience for freshmen. There's nothing like getting in there and getting your feet wet, and now they've got a perspective and understanding like, oh, this is what it's like. And the good thing for us is we played a very, very quality team that was very well coached. So they got a chance to get out there and do their thing. And I think for the most part, all the freshmen that played, I think they did some good things. And so my experience is those guys that weren't completely overwhelmed, they'll get better each game. And I really didn't see anybody really overwhelmed.
Next is Mark Murphy.
I want to ask about Mark Anthony Richards. Did he play on special teams? And how about Jaron Handy? Is he going to be available this week?
Yeah, Handy played some. As far as Mark Anthony, I know he's in the mix of all the special teams. I can't remember if he actually got in, but you'll see Mark, throughout the year. We think he's an outstanding player, and like I said, Handy got a chance to play, some snaps yesterday.
Thanks.
Next is Nathan King.
Hey Gus, so you talked a lot in the preseason about the freshman tight ends. We saw JJ Pegues out there a lot. What did you kind of evaluate from his first game? Everything he was able to do differently for you guys on offense and special teams.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. There's no doubt. He can do a lot of different things well. He's one of those guys that just needs experience. It was really good for him, and I think he really performed well. He's got a skill set that's very unique. He can run. He's got really good hands, and he's a big guy too.
All right, we got time for two more. Next is Tom Green.
Hey, Gus. Smoke and I think a couple of the other players said they really liked your outfit yesterday and they hope that you keep wearing it. Should we expect to see that next week or in the future, especially since you guys won with it?
I hadn't really got that far. Probably towards the end of the week I'll decide, but we'll see.
And then last one is from Justin Ferguson.
I guess I want to ask you about Xavier Capers. He got into the game and had that big third down catch and seemed to play a good bit. What did you see out of him? What do you like about what he brings to you guys at receiver?
Shedrick was down, so he got a chance to go out there and play in prime time. We thought he did some very good things, and Kalen Newton also played that position some, and I think it was good for him to get out there and get his feet wet too. So, Coach Burns. He has a lot of different options at wide receiver and really doing a good job of developing that depth.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
We'll have Daquan Newkirk and Anthony Schwartz here shortly.